Hi everybody who's just getting on. I just started this, and if it's not very good, I've never used StreamYard before, so if it is terrible, sorry about that. But today I'm going to be kind of going over a few different tokens and then different kinds of tokens that you will find, like transit tokens, hard times tokens, and like what the reasons why they were made. Hi Janelle Sonoda. So I think I gotta wait for 3 viewers to actually start. Oh, that's good. At least my mic is good. I'm gonna wait for 3 viewers, and then I'm gonna kind of start going over everything. And I'm not just gonna talk about tokens. That's just kind of like the first thing I'm gonna go over, and then I'm kind of going to go into other things and just kind of show a few different things and talk about other things as the stream goes on, and maybe even some other things that I didn't even plan. So first off, there's this token, and this is a Civil War token from the American Civil War. This is a medical. It's a whiskey basically. They used it to sterilize wounds and stuff. If you can read on it, it says sole agent for the U.S. Army. That was kind of them saying that they allied themselves with the U.S. and that they were on their side. And this was used by the actual military as well. So it was used by the American military, which is pretty interesting. Next, we have this, which I believe is from the 1920s. It is from a billiard company, and there's something like 400 different known variants of this token. Because so many different kinds are made. It says good for 5 cents in trade. Some didn't have any cash value, some were just random tokens, but this one, it was for a billiard company that made like pool tables and stuff. And then eventually this company did merge with another one, and they made tables and stuff as well, and they made furniture in the end. And I don't think that this company exists anymore, but it is still fairly interesting because it is a pretty old token. Next, we have this, which this is a pretty common token. There's a lot of different variants of, or there's not that many variants of this one, but it is pretty common. So Canada, during the 1860s, right before, or 1850s, before their independence, they had a coin shortage. And Great Britain, because they didn't really want to deal with that, what they decided to do was they hired other companies to make tokens for them. See, this is a Bank of Montreal, I think. And this is a 1/2 penny. Or no, Upper Canada. Sorry, this is a Bank of Upper Canada 1/2 penny. And if you look at the design, it's the same design that you can see on the sovereigns in Great Britain. It has the knight slaying a dragon. And I believe the Royal Mint actually is making, this year, is making a it's not one of the Queen's Beast series, but it's kind of like that, and it has a more detailed, kind of like a modern representation and a modern design based on the knight on his horse killing the dragon. hi to whoever is just hopping on. There is a bit of a problem. I was going to, at least, I was trying to change the name of the stream, but that wasn't really working. So, anyways, oh, hi, Aiden. I know I've seen you on, Michael Kittle's channel, or his gaming channel, at least. I think we played Fall Guys together that one time. Anyways, I wanted to also go through, since those tokens, like, I went through them, but there wasn't really, like, that wasn't that long of a thing. So I'm just going to move those for a second. And then I want to show you guys the other thing that I wanted to stream about. So, this is pretty cool. So I wanted to show you guys some of the modern, like, and this stuff isn't necessarily bullion per se. I mean, it is, but it does have a premium compared to a lot of other stuff. Hi, Alfred. I'm going through right now. I'm showing like some of the modern silver coins I have. Like, I think, like, as far as numismatics go, they're not great, but I still find them really interesting. For instance, like this Engelhard, this is like it's a vintage silver bar. This wasn't made in the 2000s, but it is still worth essentially the bullion value. And it does have what, at least my favorite part about it, is the fact that it has a serial number, because that kind of makes it unique, because there's no other bars on the planet with that same serial number. So I think serialized bars are pretty interesting. Even if it is my only one, I still do like them, and if I had the opportunity in the future to get them, I would get another. But at the moment, that is the only one I have. Some of the other, like, I know there's a lot of countries that make silver coins now. Like, even I think a lot of the smaller Pacific islands do that, and it's a pretty big, like, part of their economy, which is pretty interesting. I know Niue does that. Fiji's, I guess Fiji's a small island in the Pacific, but it is larger. Solomon Islands do it. There's a lot of different ones I can't think of off the top of my head. I know Niue did the Pac-Man coins, which were, I think, an APMEX exclusive, which they were pretty low mintage. 50th anniversary, I think, of Pac-Man. So those are pretty interesting. Yeah. That's why, like, these are the shipwreck coins from the Australian Mint, or the Perth Mint, rather. This one is the Virgil Drake, I think. And what's kind of cool about it is they have the actual reading of it upside down from the ship, which, I mean, the Virgo Drake did sink, and in 1656 it sank. They have the date of its sinking, not the date of its creation on it. Yeah, I think this one I won in a giveaway. I forget who from. It's been a little while. But obviously, one of the cool things about it is a triangle, and I also like it's pretty thick, especially for like, compared to just this bar. It's probably twice as thick, and, like, I mean, part of that is just like an optical illusion, because when you have the weeded edge, you can't really tell as much. But I think it's a pretty cool design because it's really unique, and you don't have that many series which are triangle coins, especially because in the U.S. there aren't any, so it makes it a little more unique. I know some countries around the world have some pretty strange shaped coins. Yeah, all those little countries. And I think a big part of that is because that is, like, they don't have that much like, space to, like, manufacture things, but making coins doesn't take a ton of space, because something this small is $30, and if you're doing it in gold, something half that size is $2,000 if you make them with a low enough mintage. Um And like with them, just their designs, I really like some of the foreign countries' designs. I don't collect as much foreign stuff. Mainly, I mean I do collect Canadian stuff, but for me it's mostly American stuff. So it is interesting because America doesn't really have that pretty of designs. And I mean the American Silver Eagle with the front, the Walking Liberty front, and the back. I don't like the back of either of them. I think I like the back of the Walking Liberty and the back of the $20 Satan Gardens more than I like the front of them, because I think the Eagles on the back, which if you've never seen the back of a Satan Gardens double eagle, that is it's really pretty. Let me pull up a picture if you guys have never seen one. And those are actually pretty cheap. They for a 1920 gold coin, they don't have a huge premium because I think they might be over 1 ounce. And for that, they really don't have that high of a premium when you consider the history behind them and their age. That is the St. Gaudens double eagle back, which I think at least is a lot nicer. Yeah, just I know Nui, I don't think they produce their own coins. And then with like a ton of the AppMex exclusives, I think a lot of the AppMex exclusives are made at the Perth Mint. The Fiji, I think Fiji makes their own, but I'm not sure. Um, which if you haven't seen the Fiji ones, these are the Taku, I believe it's the Hawksbill turtles. And these ones are really cool, but they do have a tendency to milk spot, which is kind of unfortunate. I know mine has a few milk spots on the edge down there. So if you are buying one, I do think that if you bought one that I wouldn't pay extra to get one that was brilliant uncirculated with all the proof stuff, because they do tend to milk spot on those proof areas, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's still a really pretty coin. And who knows, because Maple Leafs used to be famous for the milk spotting. Like it was rare to not have those spots, but now whatever they changed in their minting process, it's rare to find them. The newer ones, at least, though, it's rare for them to get the spots on them. And I believe Nui actually, the which does a ton of the silver coins. They did a one which basically had the same design as this, but it was a 2 ounce. It had the same design on this side though. I don't think Nui does not have the queen on it. I don't think. But as far as like designs, I like the foreign countries designs because yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. But like I like their designs because you don't get designs like these on American coins. You really don't. And they're just really detailed. Especially this one, like it's each wave you can make out, and like I don't think you can even see all the details just from this, but it has a lot of detail. Each rope on the ship, you can see the individual boards on the planks that are making up the ship. It's just really detailed. Yeah, I think that was really new. Like that's not even like I think like the newer ones like the 2015. Like I had a 2015, I think. But one of them they do not hold up. They do get milk spots. And here's another which I showed in my last video, but this is a really old silver round. It's from 1973, which I mean, it's not old, like it's only like a 45-year-old coin, but as far as silver rounds go, it is fairly old because a lot of the of the 1 ounce silver coins. Those are newer things. Like American Silver Eagle started in 82, I think, 1982. And then, yeah, so as far as those go, they are not as common. If anyone wants to join, they can. I am using StreamYard today. You can see the symbol, which it's the first time I've used it. So if it is absolutely terrible, I apologize for that. But it is the first time I've used StreamYard. But yeah, if anyone wants to join, as long as I know who you are, and I'm not gonna let like some random person I've never seen on a stream or anywhere before join. But for most people, I would let join. I have a few other coins which like as far as numismatics go, they're not worth a ton, but they're still like it's cool to be able to have like this. It's a 1921 Morgan dollar. It's not in great condition, but it is an S minted, I believe. Yeah, and so it's a San Francisco minted, which the San Franciscos usually, specifically I think the 82s, you can get them proof like. This one obviously is not proof like, but those ones are better. Oh, well, that's good, Alfred. I hope the quality's better. Oh, I was gonna say something. I can't remember. I also am filling out my Lincoln Scent album. That one's it's not done like for this is the one that's just 1941 onwards. I don't have them in good condition, but I do have a lot of them done for the second and third page. I have almost all of them done. I'm missing 4 and then 6 for these 2 pages. And then it's just this page, which next time I go to the coin store, I think I'm just going to buy because I've been trying not to. I've been trying to like just find them in circulation, but I think it's just going to be easier because they have a giant binder filled with a bunch of different pennies, and I can go through and for some of the later years, I can probably get them in nicer condition because like 1949, that one specifically, it's in really, really bad condition. So I would like to be able to go back and put some nicer coins in that place. And for some of the varieties, because this one does have varieties, like it has the 1960 small and large dates for 1960 Philadelphia and Denver, and then it does have the double die obverse for 1955. And I think I just have another random 55 put in there. I don't think it's not a special one, but did bother me having that hole. So next time I do go to a coin shop, I will be getting for most of those coins, I'll be replacing. Like the 1960 large, it is the only large date I could find, but at the same time, it's not in great condition. And I'm only just really getting into different like varieties and stuff, and not really cherry picking, but nicer stuff. Hi, Bella's dad. But yeah, I am just kind of getting into that cherry picking and the varieties. So even for me, like trying to tell between the 1960 large and the 1960 small dates, that I was having a tough time, which they're pretty easy to tell the difference for experienced people, I guess. I did find, and I did put this in the video, Saka Plata, he had his 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I think like 75% of the people on there won something because he did so many different things. But I was able to find the coin he sent me is an error coin, and I think I showed this last live stream. But if it focuses, you could see it is struck through grease. The 4 is struck through. I think you can see that, but I have one other struck through grease coin, which is the only reason why I noticed it. I have a 1943 steel cent, which is struck through. And it's struck through pretty well, I would say. Like, they're not, that one isn't as obvious, but a lot of the other ones I have are pretty obvious. And I think I showed this one last stream as well, but I will show it again. So this one here, and this is like a really prominent example of struck through grease error. If you look, I don't know if it's going to be able to not be reflecting that much, but yeah, if it focuses, I could show you the 4 is almost invisible. Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to see that, but this is a much more obvious example, so it is nicer. Hi, Mike. Why? I was just showing a struck through grease error, which I got from Saka Plata. And I was trying to show this one, but it is really reflective, and I can't. Yeah, I can't. I have like the stream pulled up on my phone, and I can't see it. Maybe I think you can see there just like the gap in between the numbers, and that gap is the struck through grease. But I can't get a good example. But that dark spot in between the date is a struck through grease error. And struck through grease errors aren't worth a ton. Like, I could get, like, that steel cent might be worth a tiny bit more just because it's a steel cent. But as far as the dime goes, that's probably a $5 coin rather than, if that much, rather than a $1.50 coin. Yeah, you can sort of see it, but I don't think you can zoom with the webcam I have, so not easily able to see. And I did get I forget. I'm gonna try and I don't know where I put it, but I will try and show you guys. I got a repunched mint mark 1964 nickel, which that I know he won't be able to see through the camera, but I will still try and show you guys that. And this one is in a binder, so I'm gonna have to, it's in a pretty big binder too, so you probably won't be able to see everything. And while we're looking through, I might as well show you guys everything in the binder. So I know this is not going to fit well, but here's the binder. This is just a 1976 $2 bill, but it was given to me by my grandfather, so that's kind of cool. This is a 1950 B series, and it has a really off green seal, which obviously it's just an old bill, but it also is pretty off, and it is one of the mint green seals rather than the darker green that we use now, which yeah, so that's interesting just because it's a different ink. Even if it is still green, it is not the same ink that we currently use today. And this is cool. This is a 1929 or 28 F series $2 bill, and it is like, I can't get it any more or any less kind of crushed because it was kept. It was given to me by my grandfather, and it was kept like wrinkled up for a really long time and like rolled up, so you cannot tell. But it is pretty interesting just to see that it does have all 4 corners, because they used to, a lot of the time, what they would do is they would cut off or tear off the corner for good luck, which is cool, I guess, to find one that's like, oh, that's kind of cool, that's part of history. But at the same time, I'd rather find an intact bill than one that is in bad condition, if that makes sense, which I think it does, at least. And then here are the nickels. This one is probably the one that's going to be This is what I was trying to show you guys, at least. Move that. The mint mark on the back, it is a Denver, but it is a pretty prominent repunched mint mark, which I don't think you guys can see. Even if I had this on it, you wouldn't be able to see just because of the lighting. But it is still an interesting thing that I guess you guys will just have to take my word for. It is interesting. Like, it's just an interesting thing to have. I won this. I think I won it a while ago. On one of Big T's giveaways, which, if you're not subscribed to him, you should go and check him out. As far as that goes, you should just go check him out. And for slabbed coins, I only have 2 slabbed coins, and they're not from, like, incredibly good. I mean, I have one that's in a case. This is just one of the, like, INB cases, which I ripped off the INB thing because there was a different coin in there. But INB doesn't really mean anything if it's in the holder. And I put a Constantinus III coin there, which he's the first Christian emperor. So that was kind of a turning point in ancient Roman times. And for a 1700-year-old coin, it's in pretty good condition, I would say. I mean, obviously it's not uncirculated by any means, but you can make out who is on it. So that's not a slabbed coin, that's just a coin in a slab, which is a different thing. But these were given to me by some guy at a coin show. They're 2 deep cameos, which ICG isn't the most reputable place, but I think I can probably you can see it is a deep cameo. Just looking at it, it is a pretty prominent deep cameo. This one is from Pennsylvania, and I can't see what's wrong with it that would give it a 69 rather than that 70, but the difference between a 69 and a 70 are so different, or like are so minuscule, the differences between the two, that there's not really any point in trying to find that thing. High new line here, and then the other one is a Connecticut. Both 1999s, both Proof 69 deep cameos. And these ones, I think these ones are deep cameos. Just like looking at that, how dark it is in the back compared to the front, which is still pretty frosty when you turn it. So I think that one is, these 2 are deep cameos, and I think that the grades are pretty good. But ICG still doesn't sell the same way that NGC or Annex or PCGS does, even if the coins are in the same condition. Because ICG does tend to grade a little bit higher, but for coins like that don't have a ton of numismatic value, yeah. Do you guys have anything you want to see from my collection? Like, just like a general kind of thing? Yeah, Alfred. It's still a pretty cool coin, even if it isn't in great condition for the Roman one, or if it's not in a super great slab. It is a slabbed coin, which also it was given to me. So either way, it's still really nice and a very thoughtful thing, even if it's not obviously I wouldn't be upset if I was given something and it wasn't perfect. Like, if you're given something, that's still really kind of the guy who gave it to me. I do have a few other proof coins. I don't have a ton. Here's this 2000. This one, I don't think it's a deep cameo. Maybe it is. But this is a 2007, not 2000. Sacagawea dollar. Hi JW Coins and Hobbies. But yeah, so it is that's my only proof dollar coin. And I do have two other that aren't in a case. I do have the nickel set, that is the uncirculated and proof Westward Nickels coin set, which has the Philadelphia and Denver. And this one did come from the US Mint. And then I do have a 2006 proof set just because that was my birth year. And then they have the certificate of authenticity, which doesn't really mean anything, but it is cool to still have. And then you have the proof Philadelphia, or the proof for each one. And then you have a Philadelphia and a Denver, and a Philadelphia and a Philadelphia and a Denver and a Denver. So you have each and every different coin for that year. And the 2004 and 2005, they don't have anything else. It didn't have like a W quarter or anything. That was it. Which not quarter, nickel. The W nickels, like they're interesting, but like I think like one place was charging something like $30 for them, which I know they're not worth that much, but it's still, yeah. At this point, a non-cameo proof for the 2006 proof set, that one, like, you can tell each and every one is a cameo, if not deep cameo. Like this one, these two are both, I'd say at least these two are both. This one's probably deep cameo, and this one is on the edge of that, but it's not, it doesn't get quite as dark as the other one. This one is a 95S, or a 95S. So that would make it my oldest proof, but it is still pretty interesting because they are proof coins, and any proof coins are still cool. At least I think they are. I think proof coins, like, I don't collect a ton of them, but I do have, like, those are the ones I have, and I think that they're really interesting. But like, I know you can get, for proof coins at least, you can get like a 1957 proof set. If you wanted to get a 1957 proof set, that wouldn't cost you an insane amount. Or rather, a mint set or a proof set. Yeah, you could still get them, and then like you can get them for like $100. The darker the cameo, worth more. Sometimes, like, for those older proof sets, like a Benjamin Franklin proof half dollar, that's not worth an incredible amount, depending on the year at least. Like a 1960 or 1957, that's not worth a ton. But if you had one that was a deep cameo, then you have a $2,000 coin compared to what would be a $20 coin. So it is sometimes, but for a modern one, like a modern proof, the deep cameo state quarter compared to just a cameo state quarter, the value isn't going to be that different. But the darker it is, then yeah, the deeper the cameo is, which some people like that, but yeah, the more frosted, that's what people like. They like the contrast. Personally, I like the reverse proofs a ton. I don't have any, but just like the reverse proofs, they look a lot cooler to me. But also, I can't, like, I don't know. For me, I wouldn't spend that much on like a non-precious metal coin to buy one of the reverse proofs, because a lot of them get pretty expensive. So I don't know, like a modern non-precious metal coin with like the mintage is still pretty high. I just can't justify that. Which, I mean, some people can, but like, I don't know. For my collection, it doesn't really fit in. So if I was getting that, it's kind of an outlier. Like, I don't have that many proofs. Most of the proofs I've had, the one or two or three of them actually, both the pennies and the dollar coin, they came in a proof set, or in a grab bag rather. so they were not in the same thing. So I wouldn't go out of my way to buy proofs typically. Like the 2004 2005 nickel set, that one I just thought was kind of cool. It had all the different nickels in it, and it was pretty cheap. It was something like $6 or $5, which, yeah, is it worth that? Probably not, but I thought it was interesting at the time. And I think I went that day to the coin shop and I didn't really see much I wanted. I just got a bunch of foreign stuff for like the pay by the pound stuff. So I figured I would get it. Um I know they polished the planchet, Janelle. They polish the planchet and then they strike it, and it's a really deep strike. It's a good strike. I think they might actually strike it several times, but they polish the planchet, and then when they strike it, the it's frostier, and then the bottom, which they didn't strike, and the parts that didn't have a part with a design on it, they stay polished. But at least I think I'm not 100% positive. Don't like quote me on that, but I believe that's how it's done. I do have I have one coin that it might be proof like, I don't know. The back of it, at least for me, it does appear. The back of this 1878 O, like when it's out of a case, you can see it is and this one this one might be 60, but it does have a scratch, which is a bag mark, but it still probably would bring it down to like a AU58 comparatively. Yeah, they're struck. I thought they were struck multiple times, but I wasn't sure, so I guess coming from you, I trust it more than my own word, I guess. Um, just like out of the case, it is like it's not like a proof like, but it does under the light get some cameo. So whether it would grade as a proof like, I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't know if I would even I don't really want to send this through the mail at the same time, because it did come from my grandfather, like a lot of the other more expensive coins in my collection. So wouldn't really want to send it through the mail, but it is still an interesting piece, which maybe I would get it graded if I ever go to some of the big coin shows. I'll get it graded, but right now I don't know. He gave me a lot of cool coins. He's still alive. He gave me his collection because he doesn't really care about coins anymore. So like this is one of the coolest things. It came from my great grandfather, who I never knew, but he gave it to my grandfather and then some to my dad. Which this came from my dad. My great grandfather got it for my dad when he was born, and then this is an 1800 2 reals, I believe. Yeah, 2 reals from Spain. And this is right after they used the old design they had did not have the bust of the king on it, but they did switch over to that in I think like the 1790s. And so yeah, and what's cool about this is it's actually in the red book, even though the red book is American coins. It's in the red book because that was before the I think whatever the Coin Act of foreign Coin Act or something like that, and it was in 1832 or 1834. I can't remember. That had they said basically you can't just go around spending foreign coins anymore. And then they also upped a lot of their mintages, which is why, like for American coins, you can find like that ancient Roman coin that like even though it's 1700 years old, that's like a $10 coin. And then like an American coin, even getting something from the mid 1800s, you can like it'll be typically if you're getting it in good condition, it can get pretty expensive pretty quick, especially for larger denominations like an 1850s half dollar will be a ton of money. and an 1850s like a trade dollar. Even I think a trade dollar was around that time, but a trade dollar would be a ton of money. So just comparatively, it's kind of interesting because America is a fairly new country, and on top of that, the mintages up until like 1934, I think, is when you started to see like higher mintages in the pennies and dimes and stuff, and that was kind of like the defining year because the previous year they had something like 70 million struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and then for 1934 they had something like 350 million, which is a big difference. So they kind of now, like the state quarters, they have like almost a billion struck for some kinds. For some, like the Connecticut one that had a ton struck. So it's just interesting to see how over time coins, the mintage increased, which also the state quarters, that set was probably the most successful initiative for numismatics ever by the U.S. Mint. Something like 100 million people have collected the full, or are collecting, or have collected the 50 states set, which is insane because there's only like 330 million people in America. So 1 in 3 people has that, which I think is pretty interesting because numismatics isn't that popular of a thing, especially for like younger people. Um, so yeah, it's just interesting to see, in my opinion, at least. So yeah, and I have foreign coins too. Like I said earlier, I only really collect American coins and some Canadian, but like I do have foreign coins, especially when Michael Kittle rare coins. Yeah, as the national park sets are cool too. The national park set I'm not done yet, but the state quarter I did get all 50. And just recently, for Christmas, my friend, we did like a gift exchange, but one of the things I got them some gifts, and then I also gave them the Texas quarter, which completed their set. Which also it's cool because typically if you wanted to collect like the presidents, if you wanted to collect the presidents for the dollar coins, it'll be $30, which some people still don't really have that to spend on coins. But for state quarters, for all 50, it's like $11, which is still for not my home state. So my home state, the Connecticut quarter, which I don't love the Connecticut quarter. It's okay. I don't love it. I think I think Nevada is the one with the wild horses. That one's pretty cool. Alaska has a grizzly bear on it, so that's pretty interesting. So I'd say Alaska, or I think South Dakota it is that has I'm not sure. It's either South or it's one of the Dakotas that has the bison on it. That one's pretty cool. So it's between Alaska and South Dakota, for me at least. But probably South Dakota. I think bison are pretty cool. Um, yeah, but I don't have a ton of foreign coins. But when Michael Kittle rare coins, he every once in a while he can get from his like his coin shop, which I think is it SoCo Box Breaks, which is the guy at the coin shop for him. I can't remember, but they do a 1 kilogram foreign silver bag. Like he gets that's like the whole thing. It's not like the silver is 1 kilo, but it has some pretty cool stuff typically. That's where I got I have a Canadian the $1, like the Swan dollar. Like I got that from one of his auctions, and then I got a silver dime, which was not struck degrees. It was the silver dime, which was it had a die crack. It was a Canadian silver dime with a die crack. So that was another cool thing I got from him. And then I also got this Australian florin from him, which is pretty cool. Though not the florin, but one of the other denominations, the older ones, high top hat coins. But one of the other ones, They have like the kangaroo is like holding up the coat of arms, but on the older ones they have the emu's leg up pushing up the thing, which I just think is funny. But yeah, so they have a lot of really cool foreign coins. I think they had like the one time they had some of the Philippines coins and some of like the other ones, which I only thought of that because if you didn't know, the originally like the florin and stuff, that Australian florin that was minted in San Francisco, which is interesting because not only is like now the Perth Mint such like a pretty big mint that mints coins for other countries, Great Britain also had a very large mint. So, and they were a colony, they're not a colony, but they have the queen or the king at the time on their crown. So it's interesting that they didn't just go to Great Britain. Hi, Starbuck Jeff and coins. And I think part of that might be just that Great Britain did mint coins for so many countries, and the U.S. did too, but the U.S. didn't do as much. And like the Philippines was a U.S. territory, so it's a little bit different for like Philippines coins, which the U.S. Philippines coins are, I think they're really cool, at least, especially like compared to at the time. I think at the time they were doing them, they had the Mercury dime and the just the normal Roosevelt dime, which don't look quite as cool as these ones, which have the lady striking the anvil, and then on the back they have the eagle and the shield, which in my opinion is cooler, at least. So I at least like the designs a little bit more. And I think like this on the one side, like it's not like the US has simple designs on their coins. Like, I mean, the back of the dime, that's not simple, but they just like there's a lot of designs that like the actual like scenes and stuff that they do a lot better. And especially with the older coins, the US used to make a lot cooler coins. Like specifically the peace dollar, like the back of that's really interesting. And speaking of peace dollars, they are going to do they're going to do the 2021 100th anniversary of the end of the Morgan dollar and the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the peace dollar, which I think it's kind of funny because also the Eisenhower dollar is celebrating its 50th anniversary of beginning this year. And the two other coins kind of stole the spotlight, and the Eisenhower dollar is not getting anything, which the Eisenhower dollar also isn't like a loved coin and like by numismatists, and it also wasn't ever used that heavily comparatively, but it is still kind of sad that the Eisenhower dollar didn't get its own thing. For me personally, I like the design of the peace dollar more. Like the design is just really cool with the eagle and everything. This is a pretty good one I have here. It does have a little bit of toning, but the front isn't quite as nice, which is why it's not as expensive. And the 1928 S's, they're not a rare coin, but it's still interesting. Yeah, Starbuck Jeff and coins. I'm gonna have to check out your channel. I don't think I'm subscribed to you, so I'll make sure to check you out after I finish live streaming. But yeah, and for I forget who it was who posted a video on this, but I think it will be interesting to see whether or not the US Mint goes with a high relief design for the peace dollar or a low relief design. And I think part of that just depends on like what the people who design the coin like more. I don't think that they're actually going to be doing that. I think it's just whoever designs the coin, because it's not going to be an exact copy. There's going to be someone who's going to replicate it and going to have to etch in the year, which is going to make it a little bit different. But yeah. So, and also with the with the Morgan dollar too. That's going to be interesting to see. Not like the high and low, but also I just want to see like what happens with those and whether or not like what are they going to do. I would like to see them be the same size and be a 90% silver coin, but I like they might do a 1 ounce silver coin, which is okay, but at the same time, I'd rather see the same design and also the price, because with the U.S. Mint upping the price of everything, I don't know what they're going to do with the prices there. If they're going to be a super like limited mintage expensive coin, or if they're going to be something that nobody buys because they put the price up so much. Which I think even if the price was something like $1,000 there's still going to be people to buy it because it's a really iconic coin that a lot of people have been looking forward to. Despite like a lot of things going on, I think they're still going to do that, even though the U.S. Mint is kind of a mess right now with like some of the medals, which were originally like I know the presidential medals. You could buy those for like $9, $10, and now on the US Mint website, they're selling for, I mean, they never sold for $9 or $10 on the US Mint website, but you could at least get them at coin stores for that much. But now, if you go and try to buy a metal, they're going to be a lot more expensive because on the US Mint website, they are $150, which is insane. And also the silver proof sets, which were something like $50, which the US the silver proof sets, those were always like they did have a premium, but just like there it's so much more now. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that, and also because they will be doing, or I think they might actually have already done the Donald Trump medals because they do those for every president. Whether or not with the price going up, that will affect in the future how many there are and how many they're going to be. So that might affect the price of those, depending on just how many people buy them and the mintage. So we're going on to just about an hour now, and I think that this might be a good place to kind of wrap up the stream. So yeah, it's nice to see you, Starbuck, Jeff, and Coins. I've never really seen you before, so it's interesting. I'll make sure to go check out your channel. And the rest of you guys, thanks for stopping by. It means a lot. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to stream again sometime during the week. So thanks to everybody who was watching, and thanks to everyone who stopped by. As always, like, subscribe, and have a great day.